Hey guys, Lady Lee here from Lady Lee's Home. I am going to start some seeds. This is February 2023. I'm going to try to take you this year through the gardening season with me. So we're going to start by planting seeds indoors. I already did one round of planting, some kale and chard and cilantro, parsley, a little bit of things back in January 7th. This year is the first year for me to try soil blocks. I wanted to try them in the past and I don't exactly remember why, but I ended up not going with it and just buying flats or plug trays for seed starting, and that's what I've been using since then. I am going to try this year to start all of my seeds in soil blocks simply because it eliminates a lot of stuff. I don't like stuff, so if I can eliminate some of the things that I have to keep on hand to grow food, that's an ideal thing for me. So we'll see how it goes. The first batch that I did in January 7th, they look really good. And I am going to actually plant them outside right now, probably in the next week or so, under cover because it is still a little cold outside. But today it's time to start seeds like lettuce and spinach and arugula and some peas. So I need to make myself another batch of seed starting soil and do that. So I'm going to take you with me. This is a recipe that I got from a friend, and so far it works really good. So hopefully they'll transition to the garden good and this will work out. If it will, I'll probably stick to that. So we'll see. All of the information, the recipe for the soil block mix, and where I get all of my stuff is all in the description below the video. So make sure to check that. And we're going to start by just mixing everything. This is a little bit of manual labor, so this is another reason that I'm going to kind of check this year if it works or not. I think it's a little bit less stuff that I need to have on hand, and it might be better for the plants themselves. However, unless you are buying soil mix that is already mixed and ready for soil blocks, you're going to have to probably do it manually. So it's more labor. Everything when it comes to homesteading and gardening and I guess life in general is just a matter of balance. So we'll see how this is all kind of works out. I have some compost, that organic compost that I got from a local nursery. Also, I have some peat moss that I got from a local nursery. Another ingredient in the mix is block nutrients, which I guess this is like, it's kind of like a powder and it holds the whole block together so it doesn't fall apart. I got that online from a place that called the Gardener's Workshop, I guess. They sell it in smaller quantities. Since my garden is relatively considered small, then I don't need a whole lot of it. And I prefer to buy it fresh every year. So I got it from there. It was shipped here. And another thing that is not in the recipe, but I'm going to add anyway because I love and I use every year, is worm casting. And I get my worm casting from Amazon. So all of those things are linked in the description below. And what we're going to do now is just start sifting. Everything has to be sifted, and kind of we want to make sure that there are no large pieces or tiny pieces of sticks or whatever in the compost, anything that can make it hard to make a good steady block. So everything has to be sifted. Another thing that I got is this sifter, and that's also from the gardener's workshop, and it just fits on a 5-gallon bucket like this. And then you put all of the soil and the compost here and sift it. Basically just move it around with your hand, and whatever the big pieces that are left here you can throw in the garden, and then what you get down here is very nice fine compost and peat moss that we're going to mix together. So I got 1 bucket for the compost, 1 bucket for peat moss, and another bucket for the mix. So once I have, you know, enough here and enough in the compost bucket, I'm just going to measure cups and mix them in a different bucket that is my ready to go soil block mix. That's the pen. Let's go get that done, and then we'll plant some seeds. Okay, so now that I have the compost and the peat moss, I'm going to put it all together. It's all sifted and ready to go, and I'm going to put it all together in this bucket to be my my ready to go soil block. So this mix is mainly using peat moss. So, and it's kind of nice because peat moss is very affordable. So that's a nice thing. We're going to do 16 cups of peat moss, 4 cups of compost, and 1/2 cup of the blocking nutrient. And I'm going to probably add to each of these batch, probably going to add about 1 cup of worm castings. And I did not sift the worm casting because I think it's already been processed. It's pretty fine and nice, so I don't think I have to run it through the screen again. Okay, so 16 cups of peat moss. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, and 4 cups of compost. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're doing 1/2 cup of the nutrient. So this is how it looks. It's kind of a greenish. Hold on, let me fix the focus of the camera. Okay, so this is how it looks, and I think that it's pretty much green sand, if I'm not mistaken. let me see. Yeah, green sand and rock phosphate. That's what it is. Okay, so now I have this one batch over here, and I'm just gonna give it a good mix, and then I will go again and build it again with 16 cups of peat moss, 4 cups of compost, and 1/2 cup of the nutrient until this bucket is full, and then I'll show you how to make the actual blocks. Oh, I think, did I add a cup of warm casting? I can't remember, but I think I didn't. So I'm gonna add warm castings, 1 cup, and then mix it and then go again. You might find a better way to do it. Again, this is a new thing for me, so I'm just kind of trying to find the best way to go about it. The nice thing about this is that you can literally like sit down in front of the TV in the evening and just sift yourself a 5-gallon bucket of peat moss and some compost, and then have it ready to go. We're ready to go here. So we're gonna add this mix that we made to just some kind of container. You want it wide and shallow. This one is just a cat litter box, but I'm sure there are other options. So we just add it in here and then add water. We want it not too wet and not too dry. So in order for it to hold together pretty well, we just need to mix it into a consistency that it can hold its shape. If it's too wet, it's gonna fall apart. If it's too dry, it's gonna fall apart. So we just add a little bit of water and mix, and add a little bit of water and mix, and add a little bit of water and mix until we reach the desired consistency here. See that it holds its shape pretty well. So I think this will do. Now I'm gonna show you, I got this soil block maker from Johnny's. There are 3 available sizes. When you get it, it comes with those little inserts, kind of like tape to it, and we have to open it and install them. So we basically just push them in, and they will make a little hole. I don't know if you can see, but they will make a little hole so we can plant the seed in that hole. So I'm just taking the little insert thingy. Oh. I'm just taking the little insert thingy. Here we go. And just pushing it inside of each hole. Look. If you push it like that, it will bring the holes out, and then it's easier. Kind of easier to do that. So, and you, of course, you just do this the first time that you get the thing. All right, so these little things are going in there, and now we're ready. We're ready to go. So before we start planting the peas, let me just mention that this is completely experimental. Sweet peas usually are direct seeded out in the garden because they do not like to be transferred from plug trays out into the garden. Last year, I wanted to start them indoors so I have more control over what plant is germinating where, or where I plant each plant, or the spacing, or making sure that I don't have empty spots. So what I did is I started them in toilet paper rolls, because toilet paper rolls are, they break down, right? Degradable, is that how you say? They can be planted right along with the plant, so I don't have to remove the plant from like a plug tray or whatever. It worked really well, and the peas had no problem being started in toilet paper rolls and planted into the garden later. I have a blog post on the blog on how to plant in toilet paper rolls. Really super easy, and if you're just starting your gardening journey, that might be like an easy way to start, because you know you use toilet paper anyway, and you just keep the rolls and fill them with seed starting soil and plant your seed. And you can do that not just for peas but for any kind of seed. But because I'm doing the soil blocks this year, I figured, well, this is kind of the same thing. I don't need to remove the plant from like a plug tray or, you know, do anything like that. I'm just taking the block and putting it in the garden. So I'm gonna try to start peas again this year indoors. I am not giving them a lot of time indoors. So this is the beginning of February. I'm gonna plant them today. Probably give them 2 to 3 weeks inside, and then transfer them into the garden. So they don't need to be big. All I want to make sure is that they germinate and they don't have empty spots in the garden where seeds didn't germinate. So that's the plan. It is completely easy and possible to just plant peas direct in the garden. You don't have to do that with peas. You don't have to start them indoors, but this is just an experiment. So just wanted you to know before we start planting the seeds. So my garden plan calls for 100 pea plants. I'm using these styrofoam trays that I got from Amazon, and we can fit 5 rows of 5, so 25 soil blocks on this side of soil blocks. We have 3 different sizes of soil blocks makers that you can use. I bought mine from Johnny's Selected Seeds, and I'll link to them to this metal thingy below in the description. But I can fit 25 plants on one of those trays. So I'm going to do 5 trays of peas. Okay, so what we're doing is just moving this about to kind of feel the blocks, pressing it down really good. And then I'm just going with the back of the spoon here. And making sure this is all filled. And then I place it where I want it to be and squeeze the blocks out. That's it. Put 1 seed in each of the blocks. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of soil and close each block, or cover the seed, I mean. So peas are done and planted. I have a few more things to do today, like lettuce and spinach and arugula and a few more that I will plant in smaller blocks. I want to take a minute to show you, these are the plants that I planted on January 7th. So this is kale here, and you can see how a soil block really it holds itself pretty nice. The roots are not bound, so once I stick this in the ground, this little seedling should have a pretty easy start for, let me fix the focus here. Yeah, should have pretty easy start for its life, and maybe a little bit less of a transplanting shock. So hopefully our peas will germinate. Some of the peas that I planted, I'm using older seeds, so let's hope that they will germinate. I put more than 1 seed in each block just to make sure that I have good germination, so hopefully that will happen. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comments below, and make sure to check the description of the video for all the details and where I got everything and all the materials and stuff like that. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.